I'm back again with another video. Sorry I didn't post yesterday. I kind of had a runny nose and a sore throat. But yeah, the last video, I was struggling to find out what I had to take a picture of. I watched a little video, and so far, you have to,
Good eyes, Don.
you have to really go up here and take a photo.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Now keep yourself squared up, elbows down, like we practiced. Whenever you're ready. Great shot, Don!
Okay, so I guess when you take the photo, you actually have to, what do you say? You gotta press it and it'll make her shoot.
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Well, damn. Well, that sucks.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
I'll be right back. Sorry for that, guys. I had to get a charger for my phone real quick. Okay, well, that happened, which was terrible.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Well, this isn't creepy at all. MREs.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Is this the 1-year-old baby that died? Oh, this is gonna suck.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw.
It's actually...
What his world was like.
Whoa.
It reminded me so much of Kevin.
Okay.
Lost in his imagination. But I worried about a baby being too happy. I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us
Oh, damn.
about the world he saw.
Oh, the poor child.
There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything.
Whoa,
You know what
freaky.
happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Oh, the poor baby. It's pretty cool. It's decent at least.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
You should not be doing this when you're pregnant.
I can't imagine what it was like for her to lose 2 sons after she'd already lost 2 brothers. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
So I'm guessing they just want me. Oh, there's this.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Okay, just trap me in here then.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
I feel like he's about to go flying away for some reason.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power, but all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Oh, that sucks.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
So he was only 13 years old. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so I've already went up there. Can't go through there, the only exit is here. So I guess we're going back. We don't go back out here because that's where we came from. I guess we have to go here then. I guess we don't go up there then either then. Where do we go? This is actually, that's pretty decent. Jeez, he made them do all that? That would suck. Used to push-ups and the crunches would. Jump roping and jumping jacks are not that bad. But push-ups, they're the worst out of all of them. But running to the mailbox and back, I don't know how far that is. Do you want us to go back up here? I really don't like this house. We were supposed to go up here the entire time.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
If it was sunny out, this would probably be a nice view. How far are we up the house? Sorry about that. My remote just died. But luckily I had another one uncharged. Oh, okay, so we can't go down there.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Everyone's dying.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Now that would be an amazing view.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
That's actually correct, I think. I don't know, I'll have to check up on that. I haven't seen the scientific method since my freshman year. That was 2 years ago.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Well, looks like we're about to head in there, I think. I swear, you're gonna get, like, go into labor like halfway through this entire story. It'd be a nice little water slide.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
This little book thing is not getting any thicker.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Looks like we're nearly done with the story. He has some really good damn drawings.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Sealed over foam.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Guessing we head up there then.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
The weird part about it is that I would definitely like a house like this. This would just be a little dangerous from how
After
it's
he
built.
graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
But it's just that part right there I don't trust.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
This is dope. I like it a lot. It looks like a old PlayStation remote that's like older.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
It's like a Nintendo 64 mixed in with a PlayStation 1. It's a little kind of cool, but also a little weird at the same time. The reason why I think that is because these little buttons would be the PlayStation, and then this little block in the middle with the little game card in the middle, that would be 64. Yellow, yellow, and red and blue. Oh no, green, yellow, red and blue. The green is just a little, like, very, very different, or similar, just a little different. he was a gamer. Especially with the PC.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Oh. It's a little
I asked him to describe it.
difficult to try and...
He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Hope. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished.
Oh, so let's go up here.
He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
This is
To conquer a city, then immediately
pretty
push on.
detailed.
New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg,
Here we go
he heard
again.
rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Looks like I'm the guy from the
Began
story,
to forget the world we know.
but in this time.
I think
If
it
that
pained
makes any
him to
sense
remember
to you
Lewis,
guys.
the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him.
Oh, I shouldn't have went up here.
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting.
Sorry to cut that off. Just wanted to see where this is possibly gonna end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And 6. So we got Lewis, which we're doing now, Sanjay, Don, Sven, Eddie, and Kay. But it seems to me like the leaves aren't the ones that really matter, just the names and the dates. So Lewis, Don, Edie, and that's it. So I'm going to extend the video a little bit longer than the last video to get these done.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Seriously? So be it.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Nearly there.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
This is a little part I told you earlier that I do not trust.
I wish we'd stayed.
I like the little attention to detail about just everything about the floor. Like, I believe it was the last video that we actually had to walk over like a metal grate, and you can hear like the difference between the metal, and then once we switch like gravel or like wood or something, it was a completely different noise, which I like about that. And then here, you can, if you keep walking here, like you're stepping on actual packing peanuts, which is really cool.
But I understand why we left.
How did you even get water from all the way down there? Like, I know it's possible, but it's just... It's a little confusing to me how that would all work. But also very fascinating at the same time.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Well, that sucks.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance, or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Well, that would probably make more sense if you came back to them.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone.
This sucks.
The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh, well, that's just... that really sucks. I think he just built a new section of the house. Well, that was an amazing story. like how all people that threw in something to make this game actually they actually put baby photos of themselves. Well, this is the end of the video, so I will let this roll for about another minute, and then I will end.